Now, how is one of you brought three musicians in with you?
I did.
And one of them is Brent Roman, who is not obviously of Asian descent. Maybe you are. Maybe you are, Brent, and I just don't recognize it.
No, we call him honorary Chinese.
He's an honorary Chinese.
I have my card.
And also Tamir and Naizal, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Naizal Hargana.
Yep.
And they're going to play and do all sorts of things during the 45 minutes we get to talk about the Year of the Rat. There's an event, before I let you guys play, you honorary Chinese man, and the rest of you, you're doing something at the Apple store, right across the river from this joint.
And this is actually something, this is our second year. Last year was kind of an experiment,
Yeah.
and it's part of the Today at Apple series where they highlight all kinds of things, artists, musicians, and part of it is to give them a showcase, and of course there's always a tie-in to Apple products.
Yes, of
and
course, because the whole world, it's either Apple or Amazon, everything is tied in.
So we will have, actually, Tamir and Naizal will both be there performing live music. We'll also have a calligrapher there, as well as some Chinese dance. And then people will have an opportunity to interact with some of the most recent Apple products and be able to do some capturing what they see and doing something with it on
That's
iPads
great.
and
Now,
phones, and it will be really
what
fun.
would you like, what can these, you should see the instruments, Dan, aren't that, Dan, who's helped put all this together, these are unbelievably cool instruments you have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sort of set of drums, unlike I've ever, drums and cymbals and things, and a kind of stringed instrument. Tell me what they're going to do. Well, let's wait 1 minute. You guys can have and play after. When we get to 15 after, then we get a little commercial, and then it's all yours.
So in
Brent,
the meantime,
yes.
they're called the Tuvergen Band, and Tuvergen means galloping in Mongolian. They're from Mongolia. It's a Mongolian band, except for Brent. Brent is not Mongolian.
Brent's an honorary. Wait, Brent is an honorary Mongolian.
And they are going to be playing some very characteristic Mongolian music on Mongolian instruments. And Brent has adapted his drum set to basically approximate the Mongolian percussion set, because you can't purchase it here, but he's done a really great job of adapting what he has to match with the instruments that Tamir and Naizal will be playing.
Well, after you play it, I'd love all three of you to come on and talk for a while about how you, well, obviously you guys were born to it, but Brent, how did Brent come to this? Do you know, Julie?
I do know, but I'll let him tell.
Okay, we got to take a little break, and then you will hear from these three musical performers after a couple minutes.
So
this is Julie Ma taking over Rick Kogan Show. Go ahead.
So I'd like to introduce again the amazing Tuvergen Band, and they're a Mongolian band, and they are going to be playing a piece called Dingo Day.
That was. It's so hard to explain the singing that goes on. Julie, could you give that
So that's
singing. It sounds like an instrument. I mean, a voice is an instrument. I know that, but it sounds.
It's called Mongolian throat singing, and it's something that I heard for the first time about 6 or 7 years ago, and I just was enchanted by it because it's just, Tamir was explaining it to me earlier today, that it's entirely just controlling the air coming from your diaphragm through your throat and then using your tongue to redirect the air. And so it's entirely, and he said that it's something that you can just learn in a few weeks, but I think that that is an exaggeration.
You might be able to learn
Tamir
it if
is
you
really, yeah.
wouldn't be any
Tamir
good
is
at it.
really- he's
Yes, of
magical.
course you can learn it in a few
He's-
weeks, but he wouldn't be any good on it.
It's-
Brent, in playing with these individuals, how long have you come up here for the mic for a second? Can you get up here? He jingles when he goes because he's got bells on his legs. How long have you been playing with these two?
Well, Naizal just recently moved to the area from Kentucky. I actually both met them at first in Kentucky,
Where in Kentucky?
in Lexington. Of course, where all the horses are.
Well, but also
Yeah.
where my oldest friend in the world is a professor of music at the University of Kentucky.
Yes, that's where they went, University of Kentucky. So I met them both there near the university, and we did some shows there. And then where I went to school, NIU, is where eventually Tamir went to school. And then Naizal is now a student currently at NIU. And so I've been working with Tamir for a few years, and Naizal more recently.
Wow, it's hypnotic. Or captivating is a better word. It's not hypnotic, it's captivating. We're going to hear, because you're staying on for another 15 minutes, if that's okay, some more from
Absolutely.
this unbelievable band. Can I call you guys a band? Yeah.
Tuvergen, the
Okay,
Galloping
the honorary,
Band.
the one honorary Mongolian trio is what I'm going to call it. We got to take a short little break and we'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think if you go to ChineseFineArts.org, you will not see pictures of my new three friends, but you will get a sense of the ongoing celebration. The Apple Store on Saturday, February 1st, but also the Lunar New Year celebration and lantern procession at the Art Institute and into Maggie Daly Park. That's on Saturday, February 8th. And you'll also get an introduction to the Chinese Fine Art Society, which I think is one of the most active and important artistic organizations in this town. It's run by Julie Ma, who is my guest, and she's introduced me to these fantastic musicians, Tamir and Naizal Hargana, who are not related, right?
Right.
They have the same last name.
They're from the same small village in Mongolia, but they are not related. And they also told me there are only 5,000 people in the world that have the last name Hargana.
That's pretty astonishing. They wind up first in Kentucky and then here.
Yeah.
And it was in Kentucky that they fell under the influence of Brent Roman, who has fallen seriously under the influence of Chinese percussion, haven't you?
Well, I did want to point out the
You can point out
connection that Brent made, that they were in Kentucky where all the horses are, because, you know, Mongolia is where all the horses are in China, and Mongolians are known for being
Yes, the greatest
these
horsemen on the planet.
greatest horsemen, and so it makes sense that that's where they would end up, kind
Makes
of.
sense that Ron Penn, who sends us his Christmas album, was a professor of music at the University of Kentucky. He may know you guys, and that would be the ultimate small world. I promised you, and Julie has acceded to that promise, that you would play another song for us. What does Julie know what it is, or you want to?
I'm going to let you guys say it again just to make sure it's said correctly.
Aspergana?
Aspergana.
Aspergana.
Arctagana.
Yes, it's the
Yep.
number one. It's been on the number one on the Mongolian charts for 55 years. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's fascinating to watch, too. this radio station plays very little music, but that's the kind of music you will hear on very few radio stations, and it's certainly worth hearing. When they perform a concert, Julie Mai, is it a concert of some length?
So we have had them perform in many of our events where it's a showcase of different types of artists, and so we'll have them, for example, at Navy Pier, they perform 4 times, and in the course of the afternoon, 5 pieces about this length, usually 2 of them at a time for each little showcase that we did with them. And then we've also tried to find other opportunities to
For a full concert.
yeah.
Well, it's really an honor to hear you guys, because it's just, this is world music, man. This is what the world is about, is hearing.
I wanted to just introduce the instruments that they were playing, so that
Sure.
So there was the horsehead fiddle, which Naizal was playing. Do you want to just play a little bit yourself? Go to the Apple Store, but the horsehead fiddle, literally the top of the fiddle is shaped like a horse
Yeah,
head.
it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful instrument. What is?
And Tamir is playing it's a lute, and it's called an ashur.
Dashplur?
Dashplur.
It looks kind of like a guitar or a banjo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a banjo.
And then they're all in the same family. Do you want to play a little bit yourself?
Yeah, sure.
And then the really interesting thing that Tamir was doing that people couldn't see is all of that singing is just with his throat.
I know, it's
And,
astonishing.
and-
It's, but he said, well, big deal, you can learn in 2 weeks, right? You say, okay, I'm gonna start.
You can learn how to move the
Yeah, I'm
air
gonna
in
start
2 weeks,
one
and
day.
then you
I'm gonna
can for
start
the
learning.
next 20
No,
years
it's
try and
so
sound like
beautiful.
Tamir.
God,
Yeah.
so beautiful. And Brent, your drum setup is a variety. You have bells on your boots, a leather drum, cymbals, and all sorts of things of your creation, right?
Putting it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't invent any of the drums.
You didn't
but
invent
they're-
any of the
I,
drums, but
I
he's-
invented the concept.
He
Yeah.
invented the concept. Brent, you're my new favorite honorary Mongolian. Tamir and Naizal Hargana. It is a pleasure and honor to have heard you.
Thank you so much for having us today.
You're always welcome. If you keep bringing this, you guys are not my favorite band. I know it's the night of the Grammys. I hope one year to see the 3 of you on stage at the Grammys getting some kind of award.
That would be quite
We got to take a
amazing.
little break now, and then we'll talk to Phil Donlin about his new movie.
Thank you.
Julie, thank you. It's always a real treat to see you, and thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.